Day 8, tiling project. Let's check the weather. Laser beam is out in full force today. It's kind of a little bit feels like Groundhog Day. We're doing the same thing every day. All right, so a viewer asked a question. You have so much glass in front of the house. You probably get sun that heats up your rooms till noon. Now it was 8:27, so it's when I walked out. So it's probably 8:30, and we already have shade. There's no sun on the glass at 8:30 in the morning, and look how far the shade is already away from the house because of this 2-meter. Sun's right there. So no, we don't get a lot morning sun, but it is in shade very early. So that's a meter, right? Because it's 50 cm, 50 cm for the tile. So let's say 8 o'clock in the morning, we're in shade. So it really does not heat up the room. You see, we have the glass shut right now. We don't even have it open. And that's just because, with the guys cutting tile and stuff, we just don't want the dust to get in the house. So we came across another, call it dilemma. And I guess it's a good lesson for me. And I guess good lesson for any viewer who's going to build a house or do any type of renovation project. Is sometimes you got to zig and zag and make a decision. So, and again, it's just a novice in me, right? I mean, I'm not a contractor, I'm not a builder, I'm not a tiler. It's just a novice in me. So I've been saying we're gonna go out to tile just to make the walkway here bigger when the truck is parked, so we have plenty of room, call it a sidewalk. I brought that out, and then I said we're gonna bring the tile right to here, right to the edge. And that was going to give 6 inches on each side to park. And then we're going to do something with this. Well, I guess that was naive of me to say that. And it sounded right. We just go, one tile over, and then we'd have to have a cut. And just have a cut down the side. No big deal. 2 tile out. We'd be good to go. However, I didn't think about the tiles coming this way. So for me, to get the turn, so see how the turn here is on a full tile, right? There's the molding and it turns right on a full tile. Beautiful, right? Well, when I painted this, I wasn't thinking about the tile. Should have, but I didn't. I can't put the next tile here. The next tile has to go here. So now I'm losing, 4 inches of my 6 inches and 6 inches. So now it's going to be, my truck tire is going to be 4 inches away and 4 inches away. So that's okay, but I'm not that good of a driver. So the decision was made that we're going to go another tile out. And that's going to give me plenty of room to back in now. However, instead of tile coming out to here, it's only going to be here. So I'm going to gain, what is that, a foot? So good news, bad news. The good news is I'm going to have plenty of room, right? If it was 6 and we're adding a foot on either, a foot, so that's another 6 on either side. So now I'm going to have 12 inches on one side of the tire and 12 inches on the other side. So that's good news. The bad news is the walkway over here is going to be smaller, but Wilma pointed out, she goes, when was the last time when the truck was parked, you walked all the way out this way? And I'm like, I don't think I ever did that. I always walk this way. Right? If I'm coming from the pool and say I'm going to the dirty kitchen, I come this way. I never walk around the truck. So that was a good point that she made. And then the other bit of bad news is now when this tile is laid and it's all said and done, it's not going to be here and it's just going to be raw concrete. It's going to be raw concrete and then, 12, 14 inches of gray showing. So when you stand back, you're going to see gray, raw concrete and gray. Now, years past, I'd be all upset. It would ruin my day. Now that I've been 3 years and Wilma wanted me to mention this today. Today is our 3-year anniversary being in the Philippines. We landed in Manila for our quarantine because it was during the pandemic. 3 years ago today. Boy, does time fly. I can't believe it's been 3 years. It feels like maybe a year and a half. Just flying by. So Wilma, in her words of wisdom, said, well, you're just going to have to get on this quicker than you thought. So obviously I want to get these projects done. I want to get this wall extended. I want to get the dirty kitchen done. But after all of that, I got to get on this. So get in here and do a really good power wash and then put some kind of a surface down. There's a type of epoxy that has those sprinkles in with it, that when you put the epoxy down, you throw the sprinkles down. I've done that several times in the US with my garage. It always came out really nice. However, can't find it here. I looked in Lazada, I looked in Shopee. They don't sell it here in any of the stores. I don't know if I can get it on Amazon. I mean, I know I can get it on Amazon, but I don't know if they'll ship it. So I have to look into that. But I might have to just use a different type of product here, and I'll make it happen. But for the 30 days, 40 days, 50 days that we're going to be doing all these projects, when we back the truck in, there's going to be some gray showing. Big deal. So today's goal with the guys, as I told them, let's get as many tile down as possible. So I told them to go full across. We just missed the black pole, so that's good. And just go straight down and over this way. There could be a couple cuts over there, but this is going to be a full tile day. And the reason for that is I want to get as many tiles down, and then I got to calculate how many I need, and then see how many of the different batch I need to buy.
Morning, how are you?
All right, so
I stopped by because I got a little tool for you to help you with your grouting. I think this is like a little oil applicator.
Okay.
And you can just lay that down and put it right down the grout seam.
Put it right by my hand so it shows up. All right, so I just put my sealer in there
and just like follow down the seam and just let it ooze out the bottom.
Oh, that'll be a lot better than brushing.
I think so. Or maybe you still need to brush a little bit, but not as much.
Yeah. All right. That'll be good. That'll get some good use. And then when I'm done with it, I just drop it off at your house.
I got like 6 of them, so I had to buy 6 to get one.
That's a pretty good idea. Now, I've been saying on the videos that I have a buddy of mine going to help me with the gate. So this is the guy.
Hey, how are you?
So he already sent me some information this morning on where he bought. It's on Lazada. The track that's needed, and then the actual opener itself. See the spots here where prints?
Yeah, that's dogs. That's
yeah, he's peeing on the gate.
Marking his territory.
Yeah, and it's starting to rust there. So we got to come in here and sand this a little bit. Now, I was saying that I'm going to paint this before they put it on, but actually where the track goes, I shouldn't paint it, right?
I think that the track, the little round studs that the track bolts to, and I think it's going to fit right on your bottom rail.
Oh, okay. But does it get welded on?
Yeah.
Okay. So I shouldn't really paint that bottom rail.
You can just paint everything else, and they can just spot.
Paint it later. So it'll be over here, right? The actual.
Yeah, the unit will sit right where those rocks are sticking out.
Yeah, and the electric's already run.
Yeah, so you just got to get it to the other side of the track.
Yeah.
Get underneath the track.
They're going to have to go underneath the rail to come up to hook to it. So no big deal. And you got a guy, right, that did yours? Yeah,
You should have no problem.
that'll be good. So I'm going to go ahead and order because he just sent me snapshots from Lazada of the track, the remote controls, and you said to buy 6 remote controls.
Well, that's what I did
Makes
I only
sense.
have one left. So
Yeah, I'll put one in the scooter, one in the truck. One by the front door, one by the back
you
door.
get 2 with it,
Okay.
but they're only 180 paces a piece. So why not
Might
have
as
a
well.
bunch?
Yeah. Because if
maybe
you
2 years
drop
from
it,
now they won't have them.
that's true. Or of course, if I drop it or Prince gets a hold of them.
Yeah.
So we're going to get going on this. We're trying to do multiple projects at a time. But you surprised me with this little
That'll
doohickey.
work good.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I bought that to oil the hinges on my doors that were squeaking,
Yeah.
and it worked really good.
All right, I'm going to give it a shot. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, so let's check on the guys. I did not do a noon update because my buddy Sandy came up for a visit. So I'll just kind of show you. This is a 3 p.m. update. So definitely looking good. I got a lot done. Got some cuts over there. So now I'm ready to count the tile that's left over. I know, maybe 10 boxes over there, and this is a full 25. So we still got quite a bit, but they're definitely moving along. So that's good news. So I'm getting ready to order. I went on Lazada today and found the motor and the track and all the hardware needed for the automatic gate opener. So I'll get that ordered hopefully tonight. There's been some questions and emails about the pool. So I'll try to address them. Talk about what type of chlorine that I use. I use a 90% type chlorine. It's from Japan, readily available here in the Philippines. I buy all my pool supplies at Tropical Pools in Dumaguete. And the jug of chlorine, it's not cheap. I think it's 15,000 pesos. So that's what, about $270. However, we bought it March of last year and it's now July. So what is that, 15 months? 16 months? And I still have probably a month or 2 to go. So I'm going to make it a year and a half, maybe just a little bit less than a year and a half on one large jug. It's 50 kilograms of chlorine. So you don't need to use much. I chlorinate the pool every Wednesday and Sunday. I happen to wait till sundown to do it, just because they say the sun really tears up and eats up the chlorine. So I just figured, okay, if that's the case, I'll put it in when the sun goes down and then let it sit all night. And then what I usually do is first thing in the morning, get the filter on and circulate. You can put the granular type on the tile as long as you have pool tile. And that's another thing I want to call out. If you're going to do a pool, make sure you buy pool tile. Now, there's no manufacturers, at least I was told, of pool tile in the Philippines. So if it's Philippine tile, it's bathroom tile. It's not pool tile. So, and I don't know if that's true. That's what I was told. So this is from Thailand. This pool tile was from Thailand. And it's definitely thicker than bathroom tile. And obviously it can withstand being outside. So really, so many people say, I would love to have a pool, but I think it's going to be just too much maintenance. And guys, it's really not. You can see I've been leaving the vacuum in. I vacuum it, and it depends on the wind and the dust, but normal conditions, twice a week. So twice a week I vacuum it. I can vacuum this entire pool in 45 minutes. It does not take a lot of time at all. So I think I said it's a 3 o'clock update. The guys are leaving, so it must be 4 o'clock. Let me zoom in. Yeah, because they normally leave like 3:30, 4, so it must be 3:30 or closer to 4. But that answers that. Any more questions, just let me know. A couple questions about cleaning. Do you need to clean the tile? The answer is yes. Obviously, if you walk on the coping, just like any other tile, if you got dirty feet or dirty shoes, of course, it needs to be cleaned. But what's nice about tile is it's very easily wiped down. We just mop it, and it's really no big deal. It's pretty quick. The water feature itself is part of the pump, so it has its own valve, so I can turn the water feature off when it's filtering, so nothing sprays out, or I can turn it on and I can have it be at any range. I can just have it barely come out or spray out, pretty strong. Another question is, how often do I put water in the pool? And that's a great question, because with a drought, there has been shortages of water. We're very lucky up here, but I would say on average, with no rain in a week, and with normal sun, when the laser beam hitting the pool all day, probably 1 inch per week that I have to put in the pool. So that hose there, let me get a little closer and zoom in. Right there in the corner, that's not hooked up to our water storage or pressure pump. That is a T-fit right before it goes into the water storage, so that's just municipal pressure. So it's very little pressure. But let me take a walk over there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that's the water pressure that comes right from the municipal, and it's not hooked up, like I said, to our system here. I have a T coming from the municipal water before it goes into the water storage tank, so this water is not under pressure. So what I did was just a black pipe, 1/2 inch, and it goes into the rocks here, actually down there, and I have a 3-inch pipe, a drain, that expels right there to go down to head out to my weep holes. It's a 3-inch pipe that goes under and comes up by the water storage tank. So that's for any water, rainwater, that hits that back corner over there, and so it doesn't flood and then come forward into our little utility room or where the tile is. I have a drain there, 3-inch drain in that corner. Water drains to that, goes down the 3-inch pipe, and just expels out here. So it's the drainage for that back corner. So I just ran the pipe up through there, and then I just connected it with a T before the water storage tank, and I'm good to go. So some definitely good questions today. Another question or comment was, your grass was so brown not too long ago, and it's really growing. Take a look at it. Now, this is really carabao grass and weeds. And with prints, I'm not going to invest in, frog grass or what is that, bluegrass. It's expensive to buy, and he's going to tear it up because he's all over the place. He's rough on the lawn, and I don't mind coming in here once a week and I just weed whack it. So I'm trying to let it to grow. I've cut it twice since the rainy season started, and again, it's nothing fancy, but it's coming in green. So definitely pleased about that. So day 8, the guys are doing well. They're definitely making progress, and I'm going to order 100 hollow block and some cement and some rebar, because I think our very next project is going to be this wall area back here. We want to get that done, and at the same time, and I don't know if I'm going to do this myself or maybe have the guys tackle it, is we raised the wall here in the back. As you can see, that's the painted area and where we raised it. So that all has to be painted. And we're going to go ahead and paint this side of the house too. So wherever there's an overhang, there's no mold. But wherever there's no overhang and rain can hit the house, we have some mold growing back there. So we're going to have to get that cleaned up and get another coat of paint and paint this area as well. So as you can see, we have a lot of projects, a lot going on. And I'm glad that we have the guys. We got to get to the grouting. That's another piece of the puzzle we have to take care of. But we're going to start transitioning from tiling to knocking out that walled area. And we'll give you guys updates daily.